How's it going, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for being here. I have had the worst time trying to not watch this today. Oh God. Oh, I have had to basically avoid the internet. But I don't have to avoid the internet anymore because it's time. The live stream is up. I can watch the posted video from YouTube and go ahead and catch up with it and see what we have coming up in store for us with this 2.6 live stream special program. Yeah, so I'm not going to delay it. I'm going to get right into it here after I take a look at who's in the chat already here. Got a lot of the regulars. Thanks for being here as always. A few new faces looks like as well. Beans, welcome. Thanks for being here to help out as always. Josh Brosh, War Painting Unicorns, Ether. Appreciate you guys as always. I see a lot of discussion going on about some past events and music and all that stuff, probably brought on by my intro as it does sometimes. Let's see if I can
Tell me, traveler,
into this here.
How have your adventures been lately?
Let's do this.
With the change of season, perhaps you could consider taking time to travel and explore with friends. Inazuma will soon be holding the magnificent Iridori Festival to commemorate the 5 Kasen. The 5 Kasen were a group of 5 talented poets from ancient Inazuma. It will be an international cultural festival that will leave you with many memories. It is my honor to invite you to attend the festival and enjoy the special events together.
Hey, you know I'm down. Count me in.
Oh,
I knew you'd be interested, Zach.
Greetings, travelers, and welcome to the Genshin Impact version 2.6 special program.
Woo.
I'm Zach Aguilar, and as many of you already know, I voice Ether in Genshin Impact. And joining me in the tea house today, we have...
Hi, everybody. I'm Erica Mendez, and I voice Kamisato Ayato.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris Hackney, the voice of Ayaka's brother, Kamisato Ayato.
Sweet. So great to have you guys.
Thanks.
And looks like I get to be a part of the Kamisato clan today.
You know, I'm not gonna lie.
You can be
I
our
always
annoying
thought that
little
Ayato
brother.
was gonna take
Yeah,
much
we'll
longer
see
to
about
arrive.
that.
Hey, guys.
So, I know Erica has made a brief
really
special
did.
appearance before, but this is our first time officially having you both as hosts for a special program.
Yeah, I did a little tour guide-ish segment back when we were showing off the Inazuma locations, so it's really cool to be able to be a part of the gaggle of people at the table this time.
I'm excited. This is my first time being here, and I think this is the first time we get to introduce everyone to Kamisato Ayato, so I'm stoked.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to
For
have you
sure,
guys
let's
and
do
just
that.
to be able to do this. Let's get right into it because we've got a lot of exciting new content to cover today.
Somebody's saying
So
it's a
how
little
about we get
loud.
things started
Am
with
I
a
loud or
first
is it
look at
loud?
the trailer for version
Easily turn that down a
2.6,
little bit.
Zephyr of the Violet Garden.
All right, we'll try with that.
Wow, it's so beautiful here! So many things I've never seen before.
Some Klee action going
Aren't you
on.
two even a little curious about what interesting things you might see at the festival?
A signed first
look at
edition is going to
Anders.
become quite the collectible. I've got to get my hands on a copy.
Sing
I've
two.
been here since last night so I could buy a figurine.
Arataka numero uno Ito challenge you to an all-out, no holds barred, anything goes duel.
Casual Toma doesn't care.
It fails to fulfill the most crucial elements. Inspiration.
I have
In that
Fancy.
case, we'll need to order more dishes.
okay.
Greetings. Ayaka has mentioned you on numerous occasions. Delighted to make your acquaintance. I am head of the Kamisato clan, Kamisato Ayato.
Those animations seem really smooth.
Cascade!
Oh yeah.
Mind the deluge.
Oh, it's
Everything's in place and they've
Slick.
taken the bait. Now to start reeling them in.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He has the distinct Oh, he kind of feels like a
If my
spell sword to me.
suspicions regarding the portal network are correct, then the fact that there is a portal
I have
leading
mentioned many
here
times how much I like
tells
Hydro.
us that the Abyss Order has their eyes on this location.
Is that Dane?
As the Helitrolls go in, they never emerge again. Everyone's driving themselves crazy worrying about it.
Maybe whatever's going on in the chasm really is connected to the Abyss Order. A whole city that's floating in the air, upside down?
More than one kind of strange power exists.
Oh, we've had
here,
some-
that
yeah,
it's
we've
highly
had some
likely
references
that
to
even
when
as
the
we
world
speak,
inverted.
the Abyss Order is watching our every move.
Okay.
What's this?
There's Dane right there.
Conversation's over. Brace yourselves.
Encumber us no more.
Find a way to stop that thing!
This looks intense. Oh, this looks intense, guys. For real. Like, what? Danes is here. Like, he seems like he's under a good bit of duress at some point there. Like, things don't seem like they're going super great, do they? An upside down city. There's definitely mentions. I want to say in Kanamiya from one of the shades, they mentioned something about the time where the world capsized, I think is what it said. I think the word was capsized. Now, that makes me wonder if that was actually intended to be literal, but I never would have thought that to be a literal statement. That is kind of crazy. Oh my god, that was an insanely hype trailer. I am definitely ready. Oh man, I was trying to get in game and copy that down before I missed it.
So
I didn't get the whole thing. If
intense.
anybody has
That
that code,
was
hit it in the
pretty
chat for
epic.
me. I'd appreciate it.
The festival was beautiful, and then straight into the chasm, and
I know. Things
Yeah.
got dark real fast in that trailer.
It's
Oh,
like everybody
it
was
did.
having a lot of fun, and then it's serious time with
yeah.
that music.
And an introduction by Kamisato Ayato. Just saying.
Yes.
Of course, of course.
Our new character. And as always, speaking of Ayato, let's dive in by taking a look at our new playable character, Kamisato Ayato.
Please, let's. Appreciate you, Aether. You know, his game model looks pretty badass. Like, I never had any problems with his art, but oh man, his attack strikes are so slick. I like it. Those are good. Okay. That is
Most people hunker down against a
very
strong headwind.
interesting.
Only a
Really
few
look like
know how
Skycross
to
nailed
utilize
strength.
it to
I'll
their
have to go back and look at
advantage.
that.
Ooh, looking pretty
Wow.
sleek.
That
He
voice,
does look
though,
pretty slick.
sound great.
Powerful yet elegant. Just saying.
Oh man, his moves look so cool.
The elemental burst, right?
Yeah.
That like flashy thing in there. That's so
Yeah, his
cool.
burst does look
Love
really
it.
nice.
I love his elegance as he fights and moves. Really, all of his animations feel very elegant to me. And
Yeah.
did you guys catch him drinking boba tea too?
Oh, I
Now, look,
actually
man,
missed that. Was he drinking boba tea? I didn't see that.
Anytime's a good time for boba. Just saying.
I
He's
agree,
not
but
wrong.
wait, where did you even get that from?
Except for when you're trying not to have a whole bunch of
family,
sugar.
No, Kamisato family secret.
What?
If you're really wondering, in-game Ayato buys his milk tea from a little food stall in Inazuma City.
I gotta find that place.
You know, but it's quirks like that Ayato has that makes people wonder if he's kind of spoiled even though he's served as the head of the Kamisato clan for some time now. For example, He always gives any defective-looking food he makes to Toma, and...
Hey, the Kamisato clan has an image to keep up, okay?
You're right.
Well, I think we can all feel sorry for Toma now.
Did you say defective food?
Speaking of which, the first impression many of us ever had of Ayato was actually from Ito's character teaser. He was that mysterious voice at the end of the video.
We were tracking
actually,
that.
it turns out that Ito has a pretty good opinion of Ayato. I mean, Ito even calls him bro.
That's interesting because I'm curious how those two could possibly get along.
Ito is he's real and a simple and down-to-earth kind of Oni. But all it takes is a few words from Ayato, and Ito's super inspired and ready to take on any challenge.
Ayato does have that effect on people. For those who don't know, he came to the position as the head of the Kamisato clan at a very young age and was able to bring the clan back to its feet while facing some huge difficulties at the time. And while we're on the subject of Ayato, Chris, why don't you give us a closer look at some of his skills?
Sure, leave it to me.
Although now I guess we'll learn a lot more of it from his point of view here in the near future.
Kamisato Ayato wields a sword and is a master of the Kamisato art Tachijutsu, just like his sister. However, what sets him apart is his hydrovision. In combat, Ayato can unleash large AoE damage in a short amount of time and is capable of increasing the effects of his team's normal attacks. After using his elemental skill, Kamisato Art Kyoka, Ayato shifts positions to enter the Takimeguri Kanka state and leaves a watery illusion at his original location. The watery illusion can explode, dealing AoE hydro damage. In the Takimeguri Kanka state, Ayato's normal attacks become Shunsuiken, which are like quick watery blades capable of dealing AoE hydro damage. After a Shunsuiken attack hits an opponent, it will grant Ayato the Namisen effect, increasing the damage dealt by Shunsuiken based on Ayato's current max HP. The Takimeguri Kanka state will be cleared when Ayato leaves the field or when he uses his elemental skill again.
So, sounds like we better be careful if we don't want to accidentally cancel his state.
Now, if he has an HP...
Exactly.
If he has an HP factor,
Next,
then like...
he has a passive talent, Kamisato Art Minewo Matoishi Kiyotaki,
if you
which
already
means
have one.
Lucid Rapid Spiraling the Summit, in case you were wondering. With this talent, when Ayato uses his elemental skill and when the water illusion explodes, he will gain a set amount of Namisen stacks. Ayato's elemental burst, Kamisato Art Suiyu, will unveil a garden of purity in which bloom water blades will rain down and attack opponents within its AoE.
Ooh, sounds pretty.
Gorgeous. This will increase the normal attack damage of characters within that AoE. After unlocking another passive talent, Kamisato Art Michiyuku Hagetsu, if Ayato is not on the field and his energy is low, he will regenerate a set amount of energy at regular intervals. In daily life, Ayato's more indulgent side tends to come out from time to time. With his passive talent, Kamisato Art Daily Cooking, when Ayato cooks a dish perfectly, he has a set chance to receive an additional suspicious dish of the same type.
Suspicious dish?
Which I'm pretty sure he just turns in straight to Toma.
Yup.
Oh, wait! Guys, I get it now. That's why Toma could eat all the strange stuff during the Hot Pot game before. He's had a lot of practice eating weird things.
That totally does make sense.
Oh, no wonder.
I would not have thought about
that. Makes so much sense now. In all
Toma.
seriousness, though, I think that the passive talent it's really simple, but it's pretty interesting.
Really cool.
All right, so let's talk about how travelers can get Kamisato Ayato in the new version.
Yep, it's time to dive into the coming event wishes.
Ayato will be available for the earlier part of version 2.6 via the Azure Excursion event.
So not
wish.
surprising
At the
that
same
we're seeing
time,
a rerun
Venti
for
will also
Ayaka.
be
I kind of
available via
suspected
his
that
own
was going to
event
happen.
wish called
Maybe I'll
Ballad
finally get her
in
at C1
Goblins.
during that period because
All
I've wanted her to
right,
be
we're getting
C1
another
for a
Venti
long time.
rerun.
Yeah.
And
Good
that's
opportunity
not all.
for people to snatch
In the
up
later
Venti
part
if
of
they
version
need a good
2.6,
ammo.
Kamisato Ayaka will be returning for her first rerun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
As for the new weapon event wish, travelers will see an all-new Inazuman 5-star sword called Haran Geppaku Futsu.
Stats. Are they going to tell us the
So
stats?
be sure to keep an eye out for that as well.
Damn.
In version 2.6, Kamisato Ayato's very own story quest, Cypress's Custos chapter, will also be available for travelers to play through. As the Sakoku decree has been lifted and Inazuma is welcoming in a new era of progress, the Tenryo and Kanjo commissions are presented with a rare, joyous occasion. But beneath the surface of this happy time, trouble is stirring. As head of the Yashiro Commission, Ayato will find himself in an unusual position. Everybody can look forward to exploring all of this amazing new story.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool, especially
You know,
the Traveler and Ayato meeting.
I'm
for
still
the
really
very
curious
first
to find out
time.
when what we're gonna see.
Yeah, that's gonna be so
What
exciting.
with Scarmo
If you're
still
looking
being out
forward
there,
to playing
and
this
you know,
new
now
story
that the
quest,
Sakako
then just
degree
remember to
is
save up those
done,
story keys.
I'm glad that
No,
they're
I
still
will.
exploring how Inazuma
All right,
is
now that we've seen the
developing.
new character coming our way,
Chasm
let's
time.
jump into
Cool.
the all-new area travelers will be able
go.
to explore in version 2.6. In our previous special program, we gave everyone a sneak preview of the new area called the Chasm.
Ooh.
Let's watch a quick trailer to see what travelers can
Warpaint,
expect
you
to
might be right
encounter
about
during their
that,
adventures in this
Venti
new
being a
area.
bait banner
Let's
with
go.
Kazuha coming up probably very soon. He has not run in a long time, so he is way overdue. So yeah, if you guys are waiting for the best Animo character, you might want to skip the Venti banner. All right. Leo, a map expansion finally. Okay, new domain looked like. Probably a new artifact domain, I'm gonna guess. Oh, that's cool. I love the spiral patterns in that. That's awesome. Oh, I like it. This music is nice too. There's the whole city under there. I really like how picturesque that was. It was very cinematic. Oh, what fresh hell is that thing? Oh god, it's like a ruined grinder worm or something. Like, what the hell? That thing's kind of, yeah, that does look like a Skyfrost nail. Huh.
I don't know about you guys,
Okay.
but I can't wait
That
to
did
glide
look like a
down the
Skyfrost
chasm.
nail, although there was something
So
wrong with it,
fun.
or,
That's the first thing I thought of.
like the
Yeah.
outer layers of it were coming
love it.
apart.
Oh my
It's scary, but just
I
think of
don't
all the
know.
air you'll get.
I mean, it'll be
Hey,
amazing to
I mean, is
explore,
it possible
for
that
sure.
they're
Yeah,
one of
I
the
just
other
don't wanna run into
nations
that
that have been
monster, though.
destroyed by
It's
one of
kinda
the
scary.
by one of the
So
nails?
cool.
Maybe even
As we saw
before
in the
Salvin
trailer,
Dagnir?
the outside of the chasm is really beautiful, but there are also deep underground levels that exist far below the surface.
That's where all the scary stuff happens.
Yeah. While exploring the deep underground levels, travelers will need to use a gadget called a Lumenstone Adjuvant to aid them in exploration. This gadget will illuminate the darkness, allowing everyone to explore even the darkest of places.
Star shrooms.
Oh, okay, so
Okay.
that'll make it a little
That's
less
pretty
scary
interesting.
then.
It's a neat
Travelers
idea.
will be able to enhance the Lumenstone Adjuvant to increase its capabilities. Doing
that
so
the
will
shadow
also
even
allow
is applying to
travelers
the
to
characters
explore
that are
more
nearby.
efficiently,
That
and
could
will
actually
even
result in
grant
some
us
cool
a variety of
opportunities
rewards,
for
including a 4-star
recording
weapon
video
billet
and getting
and an
screenshots and stuff for
all-new
people who are
name
into that.
card.
Wow.
Nice.
In the chasm, travelers
Yep,
will also
artifact
discover
sets.
a brand new artifact domain called the Lost
I'm
Valley.
gonna pause that
Inside
really
the
quick.
domain, you'll discover a
Let's take a look. 18%. These are both two-piece 18% attack sets. Interesting. When using an elemental burst, this character will gain the nascent light effect, increasing their attack by 8% for 10 seconds. When the character's HP decreases, their attack will increase by a further 10%. This increase can occur this way. A maximum of 4 times this effect can be triggered once every 0.8 seconds. Nascent light will be dispelled when the character leaves the field. If an elemental burst is used again during the duration, the original light will be dispelled. Now, it's interesting that that's bound to HP. It kind of makes me wonder if that's going to have, you know, any kind of synergy with Ayato. Usually when these things get released, they have some kind of semblance or, you know, like connection to the new banner character, but you know, like this is straight triggered to increasing damage on characters as they lose HP, which to me, like, I don't necessarily, like, we don't know enough about Ayato other than he has an HP scaling factor in his kit somewhere. But what we do know is that we have characters that are berserkers that do more damage with low HP. Or, well, Hu Tao does more damage with low HP. I don't think Zhao increases damage with low HP, but his burst actively lowers his damage, so, or his HP. So you could just see a scaled increase in his burst for each subsequent use. It might be very interesting to test this set on Zhao. I don't know. Let's see. Again, it says After using elemental burst, this character now, okay, so it seems like it triggers after elemental burst though, which would give Hu Tao HP. Will gain the increasing their attack by 8% for 10 seconds. When the character's HP decreases, their attack will further increase by 10%. I don't know. Interesting. We'll have to see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Echoes of Offering is 18%. When normal attacks hit opponents, there's a 36% chance that it will trigger Valley Right, which will increase normal attack damage by 10% of attack. I think it's 10% of attack. It's kind of low-key blurry for me for some reason. This effect will be dispelled after 0.05 seconds after a normal attack deals damage. If a normal attack fails to trigger Valley Right, the odds of it triggering the next time will be increased by 20%. This trigger can occur once every 2 seconds, or 0.2 seconds. Interesting. So it becomes significantly more likely to trigger every time it doesn't trigger the previous time, and increases, yeah, by 20%. Huh. Well, that could be interesting too. Normal attacks hit opponents, 36% chance trigger Valley Right, which will increase normal attack damage. So basically it buffs them every time it triggers. And does it say it can only trigger once every 0.2 seconds? It'll be dispelled after a normal attack. So you can only get the effect of it, looks like, once? Is it? I can't tell if it's 10 or maybe it's 70%. It might look like it might be 70% of attack, which would be a significantly better bonus than the previous one. It's an interesting set. Definitely looks like it's intended to increase damage for your normal attackers. Okay, yeah, somebody says in the chat it is 70% of attack. Yeah, I don't know why it's so damn blurry on my screen. It looks like the interact window is just not meant to display this at a particularly high resolution, which makes it a little bit of a challenge to read. Yeah. Aloy and Machine Gun Fischl. Yeah, that could be an interesting option as well. You know, whenever they add new artifact sets, I would say even more so than new characters, artifact sets are the things that stir up the meta the most. Having 2 more 18% artifact sets also presents an opportunity of potentially really good return for your farming investment, right? Like, that's why everybody likes the Shimenawa's artifact domain as well, because both of those artifact sets have uses on so many different characters. So you get a really good return for your resin investment, assuming you get artifacts you can use. But because there are 2 artifact sets that have multiple uses for lots of different characters, you get a lot. Basically, your chance of having pieces that you can use for more than one character is much higher. So this might also have that benefit, depending on how good these sets end up being, because of the 18% bonus sets as well. This is good. This is good. You're just scared that they may power creep other sets with RNG artifacts that give insane bonuses, but low chances of triggering them. Well, I mean, I don't know that these have a great chance of power creeping, because like it says, it will increase it by 70%, and it will be dispelled after 0.5 seconds after a normal attack deals damage. So it will only last for 1. And then you only have, I don't know what is it? There's a 36% chance. So only 1 in 3 attacks at the base percent rate will have a chance to fire that bonus. So, I mean, it seems like it could be increased, like pretty inconsistent. It looks like you would almost be guaranteed to get it within 3 hits. After 4 hits, you are guaranteed by the growth of it. Because even, what is it, 36% plus 3, so that would be plus 60%. Yeah, so within 3 hits, you have a very high chance. But the 4th hit is basically guaranteed. Yeah, this would be a really interesting set to test on a lot of characters. I haven't seen a lot of sets that give me, you know, like a, hey, I could test that on Mona, like, kind of thing going, but I might want to test that on her, just because, you know, like, I think this is a set that's clearly intended for normal attackers, characters that you're going to be free swinging with, your primary damage dealers. That could actually be an interesting set for even like Eula. you know, it's not rigged up to increase fizz damage, but it is, you know, rigged up to increase all damage types. So it'll be really interesting to try that set on a lot of different characters. I am absolutely going to be farming that quite a bit. Hey, C3, I appreciate that. Congrats on 100K. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyways, let's get back into watching this.
Mysterious environment as boundless and majestic as the chasm itself. Completing the challenge in this domain will award travelers with artifacts from the Vermilion Hereafter
we have no power
and
creep.
echoes of an offering
I don't know why
artifact
anybody has
sets.
anything to complain
And
about
what
that.
would
This
be a
game has
new
been
area
balanced
without
much
some
better
new
than most.
story content?
Yay!
In addition to everything
story
we've covered
content.
so far, a whole new storyline will be taking place down in the chasm.
It's gonna be cool.
Yes. With version 2.6, the new Archon quest, Requiem of the Echoing Depths, will become available for travelers to continue their adventures. Everyone who's been following the story of our favorite twins will definitely be excited for this one,
Yeah.
me included.
Absolutely.
And if that isn't enough, the one and only Dainsliff will also be making another appearance during the story.
Come on.
Oh,
I'm so glad that
it's
he's coming
been a pretty long
back.
time since we've seen Dainsliff.
Yeah, over a year.
Yeah, totally. And in this storyline, travelers will be meeting up with Dainsliff in the dark depths of the chasm to investigate some ancient ruins together. Throughout the quest, we'll be learning a lot more about Conria as well as the Abyss. It will be a truly unforgettable adventure as we will uncover secrets of the past together.
So you're saying it'll be a bit of a cliffhanger?
Switch it dead.
And in addition to the Archon quest and world quests, there are still many mysteries that remain hidden in the depths of the chasm.
This is gonna be good.
There will be much
This
more
will
for travelers to
definitely-
experience in the
this one
chasm
will
with
definitely be
future
giving us
version
some
updates. So please
stuff to
look
mull
forward
over.
to that.
I know I will.
Mm-hmm.
But this seems like a pretty good time to pause for a moment and take in everything we've seen about version
And
2.6 so far.
Have another code.
Yeah, and
more than
get some
likely.
primo gems.
Yeah.
Oh, agreed. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, having
Ready, everyone? Here you go.
know, having Dainsliff come back, it'll be interesting, you know, for him to explain how he got to come back and what was going on in that time where he was gone. Because, you know, he went through that portal chasing Lumine, so there's no way that our traveler doesn't question him about what happened. So this, I mean, we could kind of almost seemed like they were hinting that we might see Lumine at some point as well. I mean, for me, it's Lumine. For others, it may be Ether. But it kind of seemed like the way they worded it that we might see the other traveler as well, hopefully. But, you know, obviously, anything with Dainsliff is so far has been used to carry the direct story of the traveler searching for their sibling. So, which is to me even more indication that every time Danes, you know, shows up, we get more information about that sort of, about, you know, about the other, you know, the sibling. So we get even more relationship or more connectivity to the idea that Dane and our
back,
sibling had a connection, had
Next,
a
we'll be
traveling
introducing
relationship at
a
some
new
point in
event
the
for
past.
everyone called Hues of the Violet Garden.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. So,
All right.
as we mentioned at the start of the
Oh, they're
program,
giving
there will
out
be
a
a
free
festival
Sing
taking
Chu
place
for
in Inazuma.
The
The theme of this event goes hand in hand
unlikely
with the
event
festival
that some
being
of you don't
organized
have
by
them
the
or
Yashiro
could,
Commission
you know,
and Yaimiko.
or newer players might still
With the
need
festival focusing on culture and
constellations for 'em, though,
creativity,
which is still useful.
travelers will not only have the opportunity to meet guests hailing from other nations, but also finally see some familiar faces again.
Oh, okay.
So it's very
I'm
interesting. We got
pretty
Klee
interested
and Albedo
to
in
see what
Inazuma.
Yoimiya and Klee are up to. That seems
but
like a
with
pretty
the
interesting
Sakuku
combo.
decree down, now
Yeah,
we
me
have
too. I'm just
these characters
excited to go
traveling around a
and
bit,
see
which is
everybody.
kind of
What's
interesting.
Ito doing?
To have
What is he ever
non-stat
doing?
characters coming to Inazuma, I think is good.
Well, throughout the event, we will be experiencing some interesting stories alongside those characters at the festival. And there may even be some
Kazuha,
unexpected
nice.
characters making an appearance.
Nice.
So, travelers will have to wait and see who shows up
Unexpected
this time.
characters.
As we progress through the storyline,
Hoping
we'll have the
Mona shows
opportunity
up.
to enjoy a variety
We
of
haven't seen her
Iridori
official.
Festival
We haven't seen
games.
either of them in a long
There are a
time.
total of 4 different kinds of event gameplay, so let's take a closer look.
First, we have the Moon and Stars Inscribe. Travelers will meet a bard from Mondstadt in search of inspiration among Inazuma's unique landscapes.
A bard
During
from
the event,
Mondstadt.
travelers can gain a poetic theme, and take pictures based on
I
the
mean,
hints to
we've seen
submit
events
to the
it's gonna
commissioner.
be in Inazuma.
The more pictures we supply,
Or
the
is it
easier it
actually
will
going
be
to
for
be
them
just
to
a different
compose more
farm
lines of
Mondstadt?
poetry. Travelers can then choose the
Hard to
lines
say.
they prefer and help complete the composition.
All right, sounds easy enough. I'm sure our travelers can handle this one.
Oh, for sure. Experienced travelers who are familiar with the map and terrain will definitely be able to quickly find the best spots for photos.
Our next event gameplay will be a familiar one for our audience. It's Theater Mechanicus. I'm sure many of you have already
boy.
played this game, and this time around there will be some new twist to the game.
Oh,
Komakata is promoting the latest version of Theater Mechanicus, and in such a large international cultural event, there's been some innovations made to attract the attention of the organizers and visitors.
Sweet.
Okay.
In the all-new Theater Mechanicus Stage of Brilliance, each stage will have its own special stage features. Travelers will need to work these features into their strategy to swiftly clear each challenge.
What's also different this time around is that travelers will
they
need to
still have the
equip
sticks.
wondrous sticks before entering each stage. This will be a real test for our ability to make combinations. The game mode has also been streamlined to reduce the amount of time required to play. Upon entering a
Okay.
stage, travelers will find some mechanici that have already been placed. You may choose to modify or dismantle them, or build more mechanici around them to create optimum combinations that will swiftly handle enemies coming your way.
Cool.
Our third event mode is called
Well, we'll
Clash
see.
of Lone Blades.
I loved
which is
the
an
Theater
all-new
Mechanicus in the
challenge
first
centered around
iteration,
sword
and
fighting.
then hated the
After
second
unlocking
one.
this game
Like,
mode,
I
a
am
new
not going to
duel
say
against
that
a
I
sword
hate
master with
events very
unique
frequently.
abilities will unlock
I
each day.
hated Theater Mechanicus
During the
too.
challenge,
it was not
players
fun.
will control the traveler
Like the sticks
and
were
will
just
be
that was
unable to use
yeah,
their
it was
elemental
too
skill
complicated
and
where it was
elemental
really
burst,
hard by
but
yourself and a
instead can use an
joke
all-new
easy with
parry
one other
mechanic.
player with you.
Performing a parry will allow you to take a defensive stance and reduce incoming damage. Travelers may
I feel like we
focus
had
and master the timing
a
to
mechanic
perform
like this
a
at one
perfect
point. Didn't we
parry,
do this once before?
which will give you the upper hand in the challenge.
Cool.
Was it the
Sounds pretty
maybe it was the fight with
challenging.
in what was it 1.6
It's also
or
worth
1.5?
mentioning that our final
maybe
and
it was
strongest opponent for this challenge
1.5,
happens to be
where
someone
we-
who had
the
no
fight,
choice but to join the
that we had,
competition
maybe
due
we
to
had something
difficult
similar to that.
financial
Maybe I'm
circumstances.
wrong. I can't remember.
It turns out they are just an average store owner with their hearts set on winning that prize money. Who would have guessed you'd find such tough opponents from just in town? Travelers should get ready to take on opponents in one-on-one duels.
Oh, and last
Okay.
but not least, we have an Ikebana event called the Floral Courtyard. In this event, travelers will need to follow a florist's themes to create a specific floral courtyard.
A courtyard is comprised
something
of
that
different
we'll probably
parts,
get as a
with each
teapot
part
decoration
having
at the
different
end.
materials to choose from. After
Those are
completing a
always
theme,
cool.
travelers may actually use the courtyard they receive and place it in the Serena teapot. Ikebana is an art form, so when travelers are creating a floral courtyard, they need to incorporate their own interpretation of beauty.
So what you're saying is, if your courtyard is looking ugly, then you're probably doing it wrong.
I see you. Oh,
So,
speaking of Ikebana,
Yeah, I think a lot. I've
Ayaka
seen a
is
lot of
the
people
sponsor
agreeing about
behind the
Theater
Ikebana
Mechanicus'
event. Ayaka's
second
very skilled at
iteration.
Ikebana.
Of
They can
course
still
he
bring
is.
it back. You know, I'm only not
she
excited to see
invests
that
in
it's
the
back
promotion
because
of this
the last
event
one
every
wasn't
year,
fun,
and that
and
it's
it's
one
been
of
a
her
long
greatest
time
joys.
since the first
Yep,
one,
that
and
sounds like Ayaka.
I've lost kind of my
And
excitement for it.
that's
But
about
you know,
all
I
we
have
can
to remember
share
that
about this event for now.
before the
After
second one came out,
participating
I
in
was
all
really
4 of
excited
these
about it.
special event game modes and reaching certain criteria,
And then it wasn't good.
travelers will be
but,
able to
you know, the
invite
second
Shincho to
one,
join
you know,
their
maybe
team for
round three,
free.
third time's a
So,
charm, right? So
don't
maybe they'll
forget
lock
to
into
try out all the
something special
events.
again.
Yeah, maybe
We'll
you'll
see.
find a new favorite.
Yeah, give them a shot. Everyone should be sure to have a good look around the festival. The streets of Rito will be specially decorated throughout the Iridori Festival, so everyone can enjoy the lively and exciting atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. That's right. This is one festival you won't want to miss.
Oh no.
I won't. Version 2.6 will also be featuring an event for travelers who enjoy spending time in the kitchen.
Certain
The
lady
event
from
is called
Sumeru has come
Spices
all
from
way
the
to Liyue
West.
to conduct
In
a
this
certain
event, a
brand of
person from
research.
Sumeru is visiting to do
Oh.
research on seasonings. She hopes to find someone who can help her conduct her research by making seasonings according to recipes and taste test dishes using these seasonings.
Is this just
You know,
there is an
if
NPC in
there's
Inazuma
food involved,
that's from
I'm sure Paimon won't be far
Sumeru,
off.
though. Maybe it could just be that one. I don't know.
And I'm hungry!
Oh no!
New seasoning recipes will gradually unlock over the course of the event, and all the recipes will be available before the event ends. When you begin making the seasonings, the needle on the slider will move back and forth from edge to edge. Follow the instructions given on the recipe and press the button as the needle points to the corresponding ingredient to add them to the pot. And just as a reminder to everyone, there is a limit to the amount of mistakes you can make while creating a seasoning, so be sure to make the best of each chance with as little mistakes as possible. Otherwise, you'll have to start over again.
Okay, I see how that works.
Add the correct number
That's
of
kind of an
ingredients before you use up all your attempts, and you will succeed.
An interesting new event mechanic.
So, Zach, what you're
They always
saying is
design,
for this event,
very unique
pressure cooker
events.
is
Like,
on.
is anybody else surprised that in the most of 2
I am
years
too,
since
I'm
this game
sorry.
came out, how infrequently they rerun events? They're always designing new stuff.
You know, that was quite fire, as they say.
Oh, please,
no.
help me.
But seriously, like, gosh, this looks like we'll need little hand-eye coordination for this one.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
The heat is on.
Oh, no.
Womp,
When did
womp.
I start?
Okay, guys. So, by adding seasonings, you created 2 delicious dishes. You can obtain fragrant dishes. Travelers may invite characters to taste test the fragrant dishes in their Serenity Pod to increase their companionship XP. Just keep in mind that the character's personal preferences also vary.
Okay.
That's right.
So we're gonna be able
It'll
to
be the perfect
increase
opportunity to
companionship
test
with
how well travelers really know their characters.
Yeah.
Do a little studying.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean,
in
if you
version
go through the profiles,
2.6,
you
we
should be
will
able
be
to see
receiving a new challenge
their favorite
event called
foods are, so
Vibro
that'll
Crystal
help.
Research. We find a researcher from Fontaine on the outskirts of the chasm studying the harmonic motion transmitted between gems known as vibro crystals. If we connect transmitter and receiver crystals and attempt to produce various effects, then we can defeat the enemies and obtain great rewards.
In case that's a little confusing, why don't you explain what the transmitter and receiver crystals are first and what kind of effects the reactions can make?
Oh, right. Sure thing. So, after the player configures their own vibro crystal setup, they will obtain different combat buffs.
Okay.
Transmitter crystals govern the triggers for the buff effects, and receiver crystals will trigger the buffs once the conditions are met.
Oh.
Characters are always
sounds
built weird.
Very scientific.
Does it?
Did you pull that out of your sleeve
He
again?
still has boba?
I always have boba.
Why aren't you sharing?
Because this is my boba.
You can still share.
We'll see.
Oh, please, with your sister.
Okay,
Please.
let's get back to it.
Okay.
So, each challenge is split
Triple
into
D
2
is
battles,
more
which will
interested in the
require
person
travelers to
from Sumeru
compose
than
2
the
teams
event.
for
Yeah,
the
I kind
challenge,
of agree,
as
but-
well as different vibro crystal setups. Of course, the game will also provide some trial
Uncharted.
characters to help everyone complete the challenge. Defeating enemies will award points, and travelers will be given
God,
an
they didn't
insignia
use, like,
based on their
any of
score.
Raiden Shogun's
It's
normal
gonna be
attacks
awesome,
in her
so
burst
be
during
sure to
that.
give it a shot.
Oof.
Yeah, sounds great.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. In the new version, travelers will be receiving a commission from an Inazuman artist. She'll ask us to use the camera to take pictures of scenery in different nations as
Okay.
inspiration for her
New
illustrations.
camera quest. I think we
Seems
did
like
see
the
some
traveler has
video of
literally
that
gained
earlier.
the trust of people everywhere.
That just means they're going to be busy for a very, very long time.
Oh, hey, right.
In the photo notes, we'll be able to see comments from the artist and understand her requirements to complete the photo.
Oh, capturing landscapes for inspiration. Sounds pretty elegant.
And you would know about being elegant.
Yeah,
This
duh.
guy.
This event will definitely be on the more relaxing side of things. What could be better than exploring and earning Primo Gems?
Oh, yeah. And travelers will definitely find a ton of great photo spots to remember in the process.
And finally, in addition to all the events we've already mentioned, Leyline Overflow will be returning once again for
That's
version
always good.
2.6.
Nice.
Travelers can watch for future announcements for more details. You definitely don't want to miss the chance to get some more Mora and character EXP materials.
Yeah, I never
yeah.
complain about
Yes.
Leyline Overflow. It's
All
definitely
right.
a good
I
excuse
think
to go
that
out there and
just
burn
about
some
does it
resin
for all
on
the
the
events we have
ley
coming
lines.
our way in version 2.6.
What
Next,
else we
let's
got?
talk about some system updates and optimizations to the game.
You know, I have to
First,
say,
We have an optimization to
If
the
this
game's
ends and
mobile
there's no
version.
mentions of
After the
Sumeru,
update, travelers
we're
will be able
not
to
going
tap
to
and hold
Sumeru
on
in
the icons of the
2.7. We're gonna get
characters
a
in their party to
2.7.
quickly bring up the party setup menu.
Nice. so it'll be way
Hold the
easier
character
for the
portrait
mobile
down.
players
Okay,
to open up their
interesting.
party setup and do some changes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, also, there will be multiple improvements coming to the tutorials archive system, making it easier for travelers to reference.
Oh, cool.
First, the tutorial icon will always stick next to the mini-map on the upper left for new players, making it easier to access the tutorials archive. Plus, players will be able to quickly locate the tutorials they viewed recently, and the system will even remember where in the tutorial you last left off. Finally, in the Living Beings archive, the tutorial button will be adjusted to a more obvious location.
That all sounds pretty handy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And last but certainly not least, during version 2.6, Genshin Impact will be releasing the second OST album for the Inazuma region, Islands of the Lost and Forgotten.
Yes.
The album will be comprised of a total of 3 discs featuring music from Seirai Island, Watatsumi Island, Surumi Island, and Enkanomiya,
I
as
am
well as some
all about
epic
new
combat music.
soundtracks.
Oh,
Let's
can't
do
wait.
this. Yeah,
Hope
I mean that
everyone
always
will
gives me
enjoy listening
nice
to that
like new
gorgeous
video or
music.
new music
I know
cues
I
for my
will.
videos, and those are some of the most like beautiful soundtracks that they've made. So I like that. I'm all about it. So I guess this is yeah, like a little teaser of some of what's coming up. I guess we can take a break while letting this play here for a few minutes and just kind of discuss what we've seen. So obviously the thing I'm most excited about is just this new Archon quest. I mean, Kamisato Ayato, don't get me wrong, total hype. I'm looking forward to him more than I thought I would all of a sudden. Like seeing his gameplay like just like skyrocketed my hype for Ayato. So that's pretty cool. But Danes is back. So now that he's been gone for over a year, and last we saw him, like I said earlier, he chased our sibling through that portal. So we hopefully will find out what happened there, whether or not he still has the eye of the first field tiller. Did he lose that to the Lumine, like, or did he, you know, follow her to give it to her? Like, what's happening there? Like, we don't know truly why he chased her. And to, you know, like, for an item that he convinced us to give to him based on him wanting to, you know, keep it safe, he immediately delivered it to, like, potentially to her. And then, you know, like, he seems like he's not doing so great during that one part of the quest. So I mean, we don't know if that's going to be the moment that we, you know, stumble on him, or if we're going to stumble on him at some point before that, and then, you know, it will end up with him imperiled in some way. So we have a lot to look forward to from that quest, man. Anytime Dane shows up, we can expect to learn a lot. I've got some theories cooking up on some things. I'm still working on part 2 for my next theory, but it's slow going. I've been busy with things, and it's just been hard for me to like mentally balance everything lately because work has been kind of exhausting for me as well. But I'm still working on it. It's coming out. I got another, like, I got a whole line of videos planned.
I hate
so
to
we'll
say
see.
it, but I'm out of boba. Oh, and we've
Rip
come to
boba.
the end of the version 2.6 special program.
No.
What? I was
I
just gonna
know.
ask you for some boba.
Sorry,
I
all gone.
thought you kept so many in your sleeve. What
Now
happened to
they're all
all
in
of
my-
them?
They're in my tummy.
Oh. You could have shared. But as Ayaka would say,
I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often.
I know, right? But hey, it won't be that long before the next version drops.
that's right.
True.
So,
Yeah, like
I'm
a
really
week.
excited for everything. I'm excited for everybody to meet
Less than a week,
Ayato.
I think at this point.
I'm really excited to explore the spooky chasm.
Spooky
Man, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out in this version.
Yeah, I'm also
Where's
of
that
course
over
looking
week?
forward to Ayato.
I
I
don't even
finally
remember
get to
now.
meet my brother, which is super exciting for me. I also am really looking forward to the soundtrack just because, oh man, the music
Yeah,
in
it's
this
like 10
game
days,
is so
I think,
good.
right?
I just, it'll be cool getting to, you know, just chill out and listen to it. And oh man, I just can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean, new
not only am
soundtracks are
I
always
excited
hyped for this
for
game. Like, the music
Chasm
is so
area,
well
but
done in this
also
game.
the
Like,
story, I'm curious to
I
see
actually,
what Dainsleif
admittedly,
is doing
usually
back
while I'm
and
writing my
how,
videos,
the traveler
just turn
will
on one of the
interact with
OSTs
him,
and let it play while I'm writing.
Also, You
kind of
guys
puts me in the
rocked this
space.
special program. It's been so much fun doing this with you.
Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
According
So
to the
new
banner, it's
version
10
will be
days,
landing on
23
March
hours.
30th.
So
Be sure to
basically
mark your
11
calendars
days.
and be ready to play.
And we hope everyone will enjoy all that 2.6 has to offer.
I look forward to seeing everyone enjoy the festival in Inazuma.
Yeah. And just a reminder, travelers can keep an eye out for future official announcements for more information on the coming version. All right, well, that's
All right,
it for us
well.
today. Thanks, everybody,
Thank
and
you.
see you in game.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Okay, so-
Bye.
In addition to, I think that obviously the biggest takeaway from this is, we're going to see Danes and we're going to learn a lot more about what's going on with the Traveler's sibling. That's a huge deal. Really hard not to be excited about that, more so than just about anything on this. We're one of the events, I think what did we Warpaint Unicorn says Albedo is coming back. Okay, yes, he's coming back, but it looks like he's tied into like an event where a lot of Mondstadt characters are, just coming to Inazuma. Now, which makes me think that he will not be integral to the plot of that event. He'll just be there. Now, we could still learn some things from Albedo during that time, but probably not anything world-shattering. So I don't know that I would expect huge revelations from that. I think we're gonna get our biggest info dumps during the Dainsliff quest. But I think the other big takeaway from this is we're gonna see a version 2.7. We're not going to have the pattern that we had last time where it went 1.6, 2.0. I think we're going during both the 1.5 and 1.6 special programs, we got teases for Inazuma. And so far we have had 0 teases for Sumeru. We've had 0 teases for Dendro characters. So, yeah, they're not ready to uncork that one just yet. So I don't think we're going to see either of those in 2.7. I think we're gonna be maybe pushing closer to a naturally placed 3.0 at this point. We might not actually see the new version or the actual like solid new version 3.0 roll over until maybe September timeframe, just like we did last year at this point. Like they could actually be intending to release new versions. Well, maybe it was August. I think it was it August? No, maybe it was June. I think it was June. So I would say, God, my months were all off. Yeah, I think it was the end of June, if I remember correctly. So that would be kind of my guess, is as to where this will fall. If I were to have to call a shot, I would say 1 year from the Inazuma mark at this point, which would be not until sometime in June. So yeah, I would say, like Rikamaru just said, 2.0, 2.8, 2.9, I think are very probable. If we were to look, at a calendar and kind of project it out, we could kind of see where it would fall. But that can get kind of complicated. So, but yeah, was it July? Okay. So June, yeah, so it was even a little later. So that would give us even another 6 weeks. Yeah, so we very, very well could be looking at July for Sumeru. But I mean, there's some good things to take away from that, because here's the thing, like, waiting until a naturally placed 3.0 will give them more time to develop whatever's going on with Scaramouche, because he has the electronosis. We know that the last time he had the electronosis, he was emotionally unstable. Whatever the Fatui gave to him, which I personally think was a delusion gnosis, made him imbalanced, but kind of in a more aggressive way. So I feel like there's a lot coming with that still that they haven't had time to work through yet. So I feel like that's going to be occurring before we get into Sumeru. So it's not all bad. We're probably going to see, maybe the release of more characters from other regions. Even, like, who knows? We could be looking at, new characters even from Lille or Mondstadt again. It's been, we did just get Shenhua, like a last version or whatever. So We could potentially see a new Mondstadt character or something like that, or maybe just more new Inazuma characters in the future. It's hard to speculate, really. But I mean, here's one thing that we should keep an eye out for in Sumeru, though, or not in Sumeru, but in Chasm, is whether or not there is a what's a hypostasis fighting pad. If there's a hypostasis fighting arena, and you can pretty much all of the hypostases have a distinct arena that, like, it's similar between all of them, with basically just the surroundings are different. We should expect that. And if that happens, you know, if we can see one, even if it doesn't have one on it at that time, because that happened in Dragonspine when that first came out. There was a hypostasis fighting arena, but there was no hypostasis on it because there were events in the location at first. And then the next patch, we got the hypostasis. So if we go to Chasm and there's no hypostasis arena, or there's a hypostasis arena rather, but no hypostasis in it, then we have a good indication that we could see Dendro characters ahead of the Sumeru launch. But if there's not one, unless there's intended expansions to the Chasm coming, then we probably shouldn't expect any Dendro until Sumeru officially releases. So well, it really, that's kind of how I see this whole outlook, because we cannot get Dendro characters until there's a boss that we can farm to get the materials for it, because none of them exist currently. Or like in Sarai Island when it's smashed. Interesting. We did have the what was it, the Golden Apple Archipelago, which did give us temporary bosses for characters like Kazuha to hold us over until Inazuma came out. So there was something like that they could do, where they could give us new bosses in the Golden Apple Archipelago, which would be one way for them to kind of side skirt that. But then again, there's another thing as well, is that we are coming up on that season as well. Whereas we could be going, who knows, we could go back to the Golden Apple Archipelago for a whole another, you know, summer season. Which I've actually kind of hoped that they would do that. I really want to go back to the Golden Apple Archipelago, because we know that the people from Sarai Island, or not Sarai, Surumi Island, there was a huge group of people from Surumi who got lost in the oceans of Inazuma, and that was the people who got lost and trapped at the Golden Apple Archipelago. We didn't have context for that until many months later. But you know, that became clear as time progressed that that's who that was. So they have a lot of stuff that they could explore. You thought the cryo hypostasis arena wasn't there until 1.5, just the hole to get down to the Kavaz. So the arena was actually already there. You just couldn't get like the boss itself wasn't spawning, because remember, the cryo hypostasis is above ground. It was always there. There's just no boss there initially. It wasn't until I think Dragonspine was 1.2, I think, if memory serves, and then I think Cryo Hypostasis released in 1.4, I think, because that's when I believe Eula and Rosaria came out, and they both needed it. But that site's above ground, so yeah, that was like, if you looked at the map, because I remember looking at the map ahead of time. And as soon as I looked at the map, I was like, that is obviously a hypostasis fight location. We're getting a new hypostasis. And then we didn't, because there was no hypostasis in 1.2 and 1.3. And then later on in 1.4, boom, we had a cryo hypostasis exactly where I assumed it was going to be. So I guess we'll see what's going on with that. Was Eula in 1.5? Okay. But yeah, so 1.4 is when the cryo hypostasis came out, though. But it was where you went for part of the top of Dragonspine quest. Yeah, so yeah, you could look at the map, and you could see that it was quite clearly a location for a hypostasis battle arena from the top, like basically like satellite photography. You could tell immediately that it was a hypostasis battle arena immediately in 1.2. Like it didn't necessarily translate to look like that when you went there immediately, but you could tell from the map that that's what it was. And it was very obvious. Oh boy. So we got some stuff to look forward to. Kamisato Ayato. I'm really excited for him. I didn't think I was going to be. I had like mild hype like I do for any character, and then like characters like who else is another character I wasn't excited? Ayaka actually was a good example of a character I wasn't excited about until the character actually released, and then I was like, okay, I get it. Ayato's kind of doing the same thing to me, just like his sister did. I wasn't really all that excited about him, and now that we've actually seen gameplay footage of him and we kind of see how it seems like he's gonna plug in, he actually might be really cool. So we'll see. I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with that. I feel like he might be really interesting. But I mean, his animations were really like, he doesn't move much, but it's implied that he is moving very quickly, which is like very decided strikes, kind of like, you kind of get that idea. Even from Ayaka, she has, her charged attack does the same thing where she stays in one location, but you see all of her strikes appear at a different location, which is implying that like she was on, she was basically upon them and then back in her other location so fast that you couldn't see it. And it looks like he also has an ability where you kind of still see him a little bit, but he's still moving like insanely fast, and that's really cool. Imagine if there was ever light and dark elements and we get light and dark elemental hypostasis. Yo, I mean, like I said, I made a whole theory about that. I still very much feel like not during the Archon quest line. I mean, so we're years down the road here, but after the Archon quest line, I guarantee you we're going to see light and dark elements. I promise. I promise that's where it's going, and we're going to see more and more and more hints about it, I think, as time goes on. But there's been way too many subtle hints thus far for that not to be a high probability of the future. We don't have a military base there. Looks at Google Map, bruh. Google Maps. There's some interesting things that you will see on there. I think we are still waiting for playable Baiju. Yeah, everybody's still waiting for him. I think a lot of people expect him to be one of the early Dendro release characters. I mean, so here's one of the things about that as well. Like, obviously Baiju kind of is in a different situation than Ayaka was, because Ayaka was in one of the betas and Baiju never has been. Or Baiju, or however you say his name. But here's the thing. He is the only Dendro character that we've ever seen in the game confirmed. Now, we do have another one that is confirmed, but she's never appeared in the game, which is Yao Yao. She had like one art that was done, but then she hasn't shown up. I think there's a voice line in game for her, but other than that, she hasn't been around. I would not be surprised. Anyways, what I'm trying to get to is just like, Ayaka had a lot of hype going into Sumeru's, or Inazuma's release. I feel that it's highly probable that we could see Baiju in the 3.0 release. I feel like he will be one of the first. He'll probably be like Sumeru release 3.0's Dendro character, if I had to guess. But I mean, they could be looking to onslaught us with Dendro characters back to back to back when 3.0 comes out. Like, they're not just, I really don't suspect they're just going to drop one and then they're going to trickle drop us, one in, 90 days and another one, 6 months later. Like, I feel like we're going to get more Dendro characters in quick succession. I wouldn't be surprised if we had two, like, back to back, like in 3-week separations, just like we did when Inazuma first came out. We started getting a lot of Electro characters for one, but we had a 5-star and a 4-star Electro character released in the same update. We had multiple 5-star characters that were brand new to the game in the same update, because we can't forget that we had like Kazuha Eula released in the same update, Ayaka and who released with Ayaka? Was it Yoimiya maybe? And then Raiden and Kokomi after that, and then I think they started going to singles after that. So we could definitely be seeing, double ups again going into 3.0. But it'll depend on what their release tempo is looking like and whether or not they've been able to maintain that, quick release cycle. Time will tell. Yeah. I think that's about all that I've got, and I need some time to kind of mull things over. I don't know when my next stream is going to be yet. I'm still trying to grind away video stuff. I'm going to definitely be busy with that tomorrow, especially what with we're going into the weekend. But anyways, I got to get out of here for the night, guys. I'm going to take off. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate the support whenever you guys join me for the streams. The 2.6 looks hype as hell. I'm really excited for Ayato. I might, I don't want to say I'm definitely going to, but I might be doing another Genshin Grand Prix for Ayato. I'm going to talk to some people about it. I've been considering doing it, so we'll see. I'll get back to you guys on what's going on with that. It'll still be taking place in the same teapot track as before, because I don't have time to make another one right now, but I will definitely be doing more with that. I am incredibly hyped again, guys, that Dana's coming back. That's the most exciting thing that I've heard in months for Genshin Impact. Him coming back, we're going to get the biggest story drops because he always comes with the biggest story drops revolving around the Traveler and the sibling. So I can't wait for that. That's far and away one of the most exciting things that, like I said, that I've seen since like well, I mean, I guess Raiden Shogun's resolution was pretty cool in this update, but before that, I would say that, you know, the biggest thing was 2.1's story add-on. Like, I had huge hype for that, and then we were kind of in a lull until this recent patch, and then this was huge. So good stuff. We got a lot to look forward in 2.6. Thanks for being here, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. The Paimon. 2.6 better come with some cake.